Evening. Wanted to discuss something that I just very, very recently found out about, and it's sort of captured my attention. It goes along with the whole premise of the YouTube channel. It goes along with the chemtrails. It's something that I, again, just very recently found out about, and it was something. It was mentioned in passing, and I had never heard of it before. And it's something called Project Bluebeam. Apparently what this is, I've just, again, very, very little knowledge about it yet, but it is something that I'm going to be investigating much more thoroughly, because it goes right along with the chemtrails and what they're using the chemtrails for, as well as my thought that the religions of the world being control systems. And typically a response that I will give to people when they start telling me about the book of Revelations, and you need to read the book of Revelations and it's all coming true and this and that. Well, Israel is basically just a kingdom for the Rothschilds. They bought it, they paid for it, they paid for everybody to move there, and they've been, since Israel was became a country in the 40s, they've systematically destroyed the Palestinians and reduced the Palestinian population, and it's almost a Palestinian genocide. But because the Rothschilds run the world, or they're at the center of the global cabal, the entire population of the world is supposed to back Israel, and don't say anything for the Palestinians. But anyhow, I digress. The Project Bluebeam, from what I understand, it's a 4-phase project, and what it is apparently the first phase of the project is to completely obliterate all archaeological knowledge by producing new archaeological knowledge. In other words, what they plan to do is precise strategic earthquakes in specific areas around the world are going to unearth, quote unquote, new archaeological discoveries. And from what I can gather so far, these archaeological discoveries are going to shed new light on a lot of the religious knowledge that we have, because this Project Bluebeam is apparently designed to try to institute a world religion, and which then moves to world governance. And part of the from what I understand is the New Age philosophy, or and they're going to use the Project Bluebeam, the chemtrails that they've been spraying, are aerosols that not only do they affect the conductivity of the atmosphere, but they've got a few different aspects to them where they're making people sick, they're poisoning the air, the conductivity to help with the weather control and weather manipulation, which allows HAARP to use the ionosphere to create earthquakes. And apparently there's a satellite, I think it's called NOL5 or NOLB5 or something to that effect, that is has pinpoint laser accuracy or laser capabilities to induce earthquakes. And so they plan to set off a series of these earthquakes which will unearth this ancient archaeological material, which then they're going to use the chemtrails and the aerosols are going to create, like, for lack of a better term or lack of a better analogy, is like a giant movie screen in the sky. And they're going to be able to project holograms, and they're going to use holograms to portray messianic figures from world religions. So in other words, in areas of the world that are Christian areas of the world, you're going to see a hologram of Jesus. In the Islamic world, it's going to be Muhammad. In the Asian world, it's going to be Buddha. In the Hindu world, it'll be I forget the name of the Hindu messianic figure, but they then will use these holograms to explain that these messianic figures are sending their messenger, and their messenger, which is supposed to be the Antichrist, according to these satanic cabals, which I have to interject here and say that I think that it's all bullshit, and that's why when they talk about using this Project Bluebeam and these holograms and presenting this religious iconery, it's bullshit, because it's another form of manipulation, another form of control, which at the outset in the construction of the religion was designed to do exactly that, was designed to control and manipulate the masses. And so it's when I'm met with when I'm presented with the argument of read the book of Revelations and this, my response to that is, don't you think that the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the cabal who controls the planet, don't you think there's a chance that they could manipulate events to mirror these quote unquote prophecies of the book of Revelation? And this Project Bluebeam, for me, it confirms that absolutely. So they have the technology to actually project holograms in the sky that will replicate the prophecies of the book of Revelations. And people are arguing that this is all real, and come on, they're telling you they're telling you in this project Bluebeam that they are going to duplicate what is in the book of Revelation in order to establish a world religion moving towards a world governance. One of the phases in the 4 phases of the project is, so you have the archaeological discoveries, then you've got the phase 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, I don't know if it's the announcement of the Antichrist, and then the messianic figures, or if those get swapped, and then phase 4 is alien contact. They're going to use their technology to either show holograms of aliens, or they're going to use this, I'm not sure if the NOL5 satellite is the same as Nexrod, but they're going to use this laser capability as almost like the death ray from the aliens. So hearing about these things, and again, I have to do much more research into it. I was talking to somebody else, having a discussion on the validity of religion and the validity of the Christ figure and God and all that bullshit, and they just happened to mention in passing Project Bluebeam, so I YouTubed it, and I'm just like, holy shit, dude, it's exactly what I've been telling folks in my discussions, is that the global cabal has the capability of manipulating world events to make it mirror or seem as though these ancient prophecies are coming true. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like if I say in the morning to, my kids, I have this feeling I'm going to have a hamburger today, and then I come home at night and cook a hamburger. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so that's what they're doing. They're using technology, today's technology, and part of it is, I think they call it shit, I can't think of the name. I can't think of the term that they use. It's like, body to skull or voice to skull or something along those lines. And I'll have to, there's a video that I saw that I can re-reference to find out exactly what they're saying. But it's, they've got the technology to be able to actually send radio frequencies or vibrational frequencies directly into the brain. So they're going to send these frequencies right directly into our brains to make us feel as though the emotions that we're having are actually our emotions, to manipulate what we're believing. So we believe what we see in the sky. So what I'm getting at, and the reason why I'm trying to send this out there, and I'm hoping people will stumble across this, is so they can tell other people that, when you see Jesus floating in the sky, it's a fucking hologram, okay? When you see earthquakes and the archaeological information that's come up, they've done it on purpose. It's to secure the beliefs and the rapture folks. They're going to simulate a rapture. There's going to be holograms of people being raptured into, and part of this Project Bluebeam that they're testing, because it's a global initiative, is the floating cities in China. I believe it was off of Beijing, but you can't quote me on that. I don't know for sure, but I know it's in China. There's been reports of floating cities. They're holograms that these people are testing their Project Bluebeam with. So I'm trying to get the information out there to let folks know that religion is bullshit. The Jesus, God narrative, all that it's bullshit. And these people manipulating world events are using technology to corral and herd people into the sheep pens. So, we've got a lot to consider, but it's a new aspect to the chemtrails. And the chemtrails are verifiable. You can look in the sky and see the shit yourself. All right? So, Project Bluebeam, it's hand in hand with HAARP and with the ionospheric heaters around the planet, with chemtrails. So it's all moving towards this global, unification or centralization of power in order to manipulate us into just being a slave kind. And we've got to resist it. We've got to just tell other people about it. So when this shit happens, if they don't, even if we are under martial law, which, I suspect is coming very soon, they'll corral everybody under the martial law. They get people into the FEMA camps, and then all of a sudden, boom, Jesus is in the sky. Holy shit, oh, it's Armageddon. Don't fall for it. Get the word out now. Get people aware of it. Research Project Bluebeam. Research chemtrails. Research Agenda 21. So we can make other people aware. So when the shit does happen, we will be the ones who will be able to take control. So I just hope people come across this, and hopefully it helps. So I'm sure once I learn more about it, I'll make more vids about it. But anyhow, thank you for your time, and have a good evening.